And hello again, it is Chris from Chrscraft here, bringing you the third game and deciding game in this best of three between Naniwa and HuK. This was in the MLG Providence, winners round 5. The replay pack has just been released, and I will put a link to it in the description if you want to look through the games. There's every game that was played in MLG Providence in that pack. In the meantime, we see this game going on the Shattered Temple. Crosshair positions here, HuK in the right position and Naniwa in the left position, top position. I never know how to name these. I still think that one's sort of like 12.5 o'clock, and then where HuK is sort of 2.5 o'clock, but I don't know, you know where they are, you can see them on the map. This is 1-1 after a couple of very exciting games, with a 4-gate from HuK on Tal'Darim Altar, and a slightly longer, but still not massively long, game on Antigua Shipyard. HuK in the first game quite decisively winning with that 4-gate, and in the second game just slowly dying after some blink aggression from Naniwa. We see both players opening up in, basically the same way. I believe that, no, they both spent exactly the same amount of chrono boost. I'm confused as to why HuK is ahead on probes. I guess he delayed his gateway a little bit. And we see HuK going for the assimilator and Naniwa going for also the assimilator, basically the same time. No big difference here. PvP is definitely a game of small differences and not large ones. See, there's about 4 seconds in that pylon. It's it's like Zerg v Zerg. Zerg v Zerg is also a very volatile matchup. And you again in Zerg v Zerg you can lose to a nasty Baneling hit, and in Protoss v Protoss you can lose to a ton of Stalkers, or losing a Stalker rather, losing a Zealot or losing a Stalker, or losing a couple of probes. It's a very, very knife edge matchup, as I have said before. We see both players again pretty much going the same thing. HuK is getting the Zealot out a little bit before, but no chrono boost being spent on either of them. We're going to see Warp Gate taken at basically the same time, but we have a deviation. Naniwa is going for this gas here. So he's going to gas. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a similar style to last game, going Blink Stalker and Robo for the Observer. And there's the gas finishing, people going to gas there. And we don't see a second gas from HuK, and how many probes do we see from HuK? We see 19. And 20 from Naniwa, and there we see no more probes from HuK. Oh, no, he lost one, so he's rebuilding it. Oh, no, never mind me. We're not going to see HuK for gating here. We're going to see him take a second gas, just a very delayed second gas, and going 1 gate of robotics. That's interesting. And, proves me wrong, which is always fun. We do see HuK scouting outside his base, which he doesn't want any pylons getting in there. Warp-ins in your base aren't a particularly good thing, as we found out in game 1. Naniwa throwing up 2 more gateways. This is the same build as we saw in the previous game. I would imagine also we'll see a Twilight Council and then Blink and then a robotics facility. I think, I don't know, it's entirely plausible that's not the case. But that was very, very effective. That's a Twilight Council, so yes, we are going to see that. And we see this 1-gate Robo from HuK. I wonder if we're going to see an expand or 2 more gates. We are going to see 2 more gates. I missed the 2 gates. Warp Gate about to finish a little bit before these 2 gates, but not going to be any problem there. Neither player going for a 4-gate, so we will see this game last longer than 7 minutes. And also getting a Twilight Council, so we can see both players going for 3-gate Robo Blink. No expansions anywhere near for either player here. Doesn't look like either of them are gearing up for an expansion. Naniwa looking a little bit more like an expansion than HuK currently. He does have these units down on this low ground here. I'm surprised he didn't put the Zealot on the low ground and the Stalkers up here. But I'm not the pro player here. We see both players at 26 probes and not producing anymore. Oh, no, Naniwa is still producing probes, so going to get ahead soon. HuK going for an Immortal, while Naniwa's Robo is still not up. We are going to see Blink very early from Naniwa. If we see what we saw in the last game, I think what Naniwa has to do. I mean, he still won, which is obviously a good thing. But he squandered a lot of the time when he had Blink up and his opponent didn't. So, I mean, he had a good... I mean, he'd finished Blink by the time that HuK had started it, so he had 140 seconds. See, there's a 100-second gap between the blink of the two players here. So Naniwa has this window in which his stalkers are considerably better than his opponents. So he needs to use that. But I don't know what we're going to see. It doesn't look like he's going to be moving out. Oh, never mind. It does actually look like he's going to be moving out. We see a forward pylon into the gold base of HuK, and a pylon down onto the low ground, so we could see an expansion going down from HuK now, and we are going to see that expansion. You know, I don't. This could be bad. It is spreading his kind of thin. It's spreading HuK kind of thin here. We do see stalkers being warped up to the high ground. Obviously that's not perfect. Obviously he's seeing that immortal shadow there. He scouts it, and there are stalkers in his main, picking off 2 probes there. The one's mining gas and delaying mining a little bit. Picks off a stalker, picks off a couple of probes, and is he going to be able to blink out here? And he is going to be able to blink out with no losses at all. Bit of hull damage on these stalkers, but nothing serious. It will allow him to go in for a little bit more harassment. Expansion going down for Naniwa too. At about the same time, I think he pretty much chucked it down when he saw HuK get his. Obviously HuK seeing it. Naniwa seeing the expansion with that observer, and we're going to see another blink. No, we're not. HuK's blink is finished now, which means that they're pretty much matched on maneuverability, and we see a little bit of an engagement here. Immortals doing massive damage to those stalkers. On the other hand, Immortals are kind of immovable, as we do see HuK backing up here under this massive stalker pressure from Naniwa, losing a couple of units there. In the meantime, we do see absolutely nothing going on the base of either of them, so obviously they don't feel comfortable committing resources to anything except this attack. And that while still producing probes 2 at a time, while HuK is only producing probes 1 at a time. I don't think I agree with that decision. He needs to stay ahead on economy, otherwise if he doesn't die now, he will die later. And we have Naniwa moving a little bit, an offensive blink from HuK, and this Immortal is obviously not something you want to be hit by. Blinking back very effectively. Immortal only getting 3 shots off, and not killing anything. We see on the units lost tab, we see HuK having lost a lot, but neither player having lost much. We do see HuK backed off behind his expansion here, and having to pull probes to defend this push. Looks like HuK is in some pretty bad conditions. He's down on probes, he's down on units, but on the other hand, he does have these 2 Immortals, and Immortals do huge damage to Stalkers, but we see an Immortal coming from Naniwa now, too, so that will even up the score a little bit. As expansion half damaged on his shields, and oh, this Immortal getting focused down, and it looks like it might go down. There we go, that Immortal going down, and his second Immortal also goes down. No Immortals from either player, but Naniwa's army is considerably larger as well. I think we're going to be seeing HuK tap out fairly soon. Offensive blink in from Naniwa, picking up some of these stalkers. HuK is down by almost half the probe count of his opponent as well. There we go, an offensive blink, cleaning up these last 2 stalkers, and GG. That makes Naniwa the winner in this best of 3 between Naniwa and HuK. He wins 2-1 and goes into winners round 6, and obviously HuK went down into the lower bracket. As I mentioned before, this is games from the MLG Providence replay pack, which has recently been released. I will put a link to the description for that, so you can have a look at any games that you want. Very interesting. Take a look at all MLG games for the entirety of MLG Providence. Which is a lot more than you probably saw on the stream if you watched it. If you didn't, watch it. In the meantime, I will be obviously encoding and uploading these videos. If you have any comments, then feel free to post them. But apart from that, I will see you next time.